Epona! Tyrannus! Sulis! Morrigan! Madoc!
In the name of all the gods who stand behind me, I command you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to talk about the Season 3 finale of Britannia, which just aired here in the US. I know it was shown a few months back in the UK and everywhere else, but now we can all get caught up together on this twist ending. If you like this video and want to see more on Britannia and other great shows, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos on this show and more. Okay, so it's Locke's Chosen One versus the Druid's Chosen One, and it's about to get wild up in here. We had a crazy twist ending on this episode, and I think we can make a lot of sense of it. Let's get caught up to where things left off because we met some new and crazy characters this season, and the last episode really set things off. We met the general's wife Hempel, and she is a priestess of Locke, coming from Rome to ensure Aulus is actually fulfilling their true mission. With this comes a lot of the backstory on Aulus, which tones down the fear factor on him. We find out he sacrificed his own son to Locke, and now that's who he sees as the face of his god. Hempel is even more terrifying than we thought the general was, and she even makes him feel uneasy. We see them participate in human sacrifice and cannibalism, and Amina, in her never-ending efforts to survive at whatever cost, participates in dining on human flesh. She chooses to save Hempel's life at one point, which may or may not be worth it in the long run. Antidia made her comeback, and she isn't wasting any time. She was taken as a slave by some really creepy people, but was able to outsmart the inbred family by poisoning their soup with some local mushrooms and burning their house down. She spent some time with Cait, and the two made their way up in the world together, swindling and traveling and gaining street smarts. Antidia showed up many times this season when it counted, and did so again in the finale, helping Cait get her revenge in the same style the Romans had betrayed her in back in Season 1. Very satisfying. Her niece, Anya, has been infiltrated, and Locke has taken over her mind. Phelan, or Quant, says it looks as though something was controlling her, and we know she was able to hex Divis and take Big Pebble. Quant also pointed out that that means she is more powerful than he is, which is a pretty scary thought. Divis reflected on how he was Cait's instructor, and if Locke is more powerful than he is, then his pupil might not be up to the task of this fight. Cait had the Fellowship of the Chosen One, and after a big battle with the Romans, the group was left scattered. Anya takes advantage of this moment and takes Cait alone into the wilderness. Anya finds a breakfast of psychedelic berries and some of the mushrooms her aunt used in the soup to escape her captors. Just a smaller dose, but enough to make her loopy, so to braid the red thread of Locke through her hair. Even though Cait and Anya's minds were both taken by Locke, it's clear they are both exhausted and drained by the demands of the Druids and Varen. We have seen Varen using other people to their breaking point, namely Amina, and it shows a present issue amongst the current society of whether walking the Druids' path is the right thing for their people, especially when they are at the dawn of a new era. Anya has a moment of clarity that shows she has some deep bitterness towards Varen for the tests he has put her through, using her son as bait to keep her in his service. Cait has lost everything: her family, her home, her name, her identity, and she couldn't even kill Varen. Although she has taken on the Chosen One's role, she definitely has some cracks showing. Locke tried to exploit this, but she resists his attack and fights him off, remembering who she truly is. We must remember her tests from Season 1, and one part of the prophecy says that when she needs to rest, she will be carried in the arms of the eagle. The trickster Harka tattooed an eagle onto Merlin's back in Season 2, and fooled Divis and Cait into believing he was the eagle. He even helped her through the test of fire, withstanding the pain of the test to carry her and leave no footprints behind. It was all a trick, though, and Cait has not completed her tests. What a test of fire, to walk into the mouth of the demon and return. If you're familiar with the channel, you know it is my belief that the entire show is a retelling of the legend of Boudicca and the resistance against the Roman invasion of Britain. Check out my video here about it, and I know that I'm not the only person who thinks this is true. Cait still has not been given her real name, and that is because she won't receive it until she returns from Rome, passing her test of fire. The same goes for the spear. Lucius told her where to find it, and now only she knows its location. She will have to reclaim it and take its power in her hands in the future. There are some speculating that the ending of this season proves that the story is not about Boudicca, but I believe that's the opposite. Little is known about Boudicca historically, and the history of the Britons was an oral tradition before the Romans came, meaning that there is very little written record of anything before that time. We know very little about Boudicca's life before the rebellion she led against the Romans in 61 AD, about 17 years after the invasion takes place. Now, what I believe we can expect for the future of the show is this. Cait is still the chosen one, but she will not walk the Druid's path. She will walk right into Rome, assimilate into Roman society, and learn all she can about Locke and the plans of the Romans. We have seen Cait adapt and survive in so many situations since the beginning of this show, so getting pretty dresses in a well-established city may not be such a challenge. Cait has been trained as a druid, marked as the chosen one, and has a sacred name and weapon waiting for her back in Britain. Know your enemy like the back of your hand. Cait is entrenching herself in this fight, and, as Aulus said,
"You fall like lions, but the battle, my friends, is not the war."
Britannia itself will continue to be Romanized. We already see roads being built, forts being established, and it will continue to develop while Cait is away. We saw in the finale a group of druids resisting the roads, calling it the Demon Road, and sacrificing themselves to Cernunnos to stop it. I don't really foresee Varin doing such things, but I think he will be biding his time until the Chosen One returns. Although Varin nearly died, he came back with a vengeance and proved he will not be going down anytime soon. I believe Divis will go back to the role he had when we first met him, the outcast, but by his own choice. Locke took over his mind, and he was the true victory for Hempel and her god. She tied some of the red thread around his dirty big toe, and just like Anya and Cait took control over him, and he delivered Cait into the waiting arms of darkness, just as he had foreseen in his vision on the Demon Road. Aulus took Cait to Rome, and although we missed the travels, she seemed well adjusted in her blue silk gown. I absolutely loved the shot of her overlooking the city above the golden arms of an eagle. She is resting in the arms of the eagle, a much-needed respite after the battle. Cait knows the true war will be fought on her own home field. She can do little while she's in Rome, but she can learn, and she can become stronger than ever for her epic return. It will be especially interesting to see what happens back in Britannia concerning Hempel. She was last seen as a prisoner of Amina and Antidia, so we will have to see if Aulus tried very hard to get her back before returning home to Rome and trading Locke's chosen one for Britannia's. There are some real-life historical connections with Aulus and his wife, with her being prosecuted for practicing a foreign religion and Aulus testifying against her, so we'll have to stay tuned to find out if this is what we will see in the show. It sounds like things may be getting set up for that future scene, so it should be very interesting to say the least. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think we're seeing the story of young Boudicca before the rebellion? Do you think Divis the Arrow will go back to being the outcast? And will Quent the Novice take his place among the Druids? I hope you all enjoyed this video, and let me know if you'd like to see more Britannia content on this channel. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Wait for me. It is the gods' will.